Have you ever wondered where the problems in the world today would exist if we had deeper connection to ourselves, others, and the environment and acted from that place? Welcome to the Conscious Action Podcast with your host, Brian Berneman, who believe that connection is the key to taking conscious action as individuals and creating a better world. We are here to raise awareness and inspire meaningful action by sharing stories, knowledge, and conversations with thought leaders and change makers. From sustainability to well-being and everything related to conscious living, our mission is to empower you to be the change that you want to see in the world. Welcome everyone to a new episode of the Conscious Action Podcast. I am Brian Berneman, your host, and I have the pleasure to be joined all the way from the Mount Maunganui here in New Zealand by Nila Lleshaj. Thank you so much, Nila, for taking the time to be here. It's a pleasure to be able to have you and to share a little bit about what you're doing, which I think that it's really cool. So for everybody that doesn't know you or hasn't heard much about you and your story, who is Nila?
Thank you so much, Brian, for having me here. I'm really excited to be having this chat with you. And I'm the founder of Kiss the Earth. I'm I'm actually originally from Albania. I've been living in New Zealand for the last almost 5 years and really enjoying the nature and the beauty of this country. Yeah, I've traveled a lot and I'm really connected to the plants. And I've got a lot to share about my journey. But yeah, I don't know what aspects are you interested to listen to?
Yeah. So first of all, thank you for being here. So I am actually going to share. I'm drinking some Blue Lotus tea. Thank you, Nila, for providing this beautiful tea. And I would love to know a little bit about, before we start to talk, that I would love for you to share about the Blue Lotus. Um, what led you to this? Like, what was your experience in your life, and what were you going through that led you in a path to actually focus on your personal journey that led you to the Blue Lotus?
Great question. It's been a very long journey, actually. It's been maybe a 10-year journey. I used to travel a lot and I had a very unstable lifestyle. How can I call it? I didn't sleep much. And yeah, I had really, yeah, sleep was a very big issue for me. And I remember I went to yoga to do a teacher training like 10 years ago. And I spent time in an ashram and learned heaps about yoga, meditation, and yoga nidra. And then I started practicing heaps of yoga nidra. So that is the very first step how I got into everything. Um, so after understanding how yoga nidra really helped me settle my nervous system and calm down and actually reestablish and restore sleep, I started sharing a little bit of yoga nidra journeys for the community here and there. And a few years later, one of my friends was like, "Oh, like this is so cool. I love your yoga nidras. But there is this really interesting tea that I drink sometimes, and it can help with sleep." And that's pretty much was it. And I got to just Google it and like learn a lot about it. I actually spent a few days just researching because it was so interesting. It was super captivating, and the history. Like I know a lot about ancient Egypt, and so it was like everything came together at the same time. And I was like, okay, I need to actually try this tea. And I bought a big bag of tea, and I was instantly connected to Blue Lotus when I first drank it, actually. I was really transported to ancient Egypt and to these beautiful visions and the hieroglyphs and the colors and the royal life that existed back in those times. in my perception, there was a lot going on in my dream world. So yeah, I remember being like, wow, this is actually really special. And there's way more to it. This is not just tea. And that was my very, very first experience. And after exploring it for a while, I found out that I actually was staying extremely focused and very uplifted for really like maybe a year. I had this really smooth path of like everything was I had really beautiful days, good days, uplift, like really clear mind. And there are many benefits that Blue Lotus has, like endless. And the more you work with it, the more you discover them. But clarity of mind has and presence, like being pretty much here and now, and being able to notice the beautiful colors or the trees or the movements in nature is like it's very special. And I feel like that was my really, yeah, these were two things that connected me quite a lot with Blue Lotus. And I started sharing it in Yoga Nidra, even though I just did here and there, like a few meditations for the community here in the Mount, and everybody loved it. So I thought, whoa, okay. Everybody was like, well, where can I get some? And I was like, well, I don't know. So yeah.
So that's the start of Kiss the Earth.
That is the start of Kiss the Earth. Yes, like I was like, well, if everybody wants some Blue Lotus, then I guess maybe I should. And I had this like, I bought a kilo my first time that I bought Blue Lotus actually. And I was like, oh, I can give you some of mine. And like I started sharing a little bit with my friends and some of the people that came to the meditations. But yeah, later on, I was like, well, might as well buy some bags, so I can pack it into. And yeah, soon I understood that this can be a really powerful tool to actually to share with people. And it was actually the feedback that I was getting straight away. Like there were people we still get so many people that call us literally every day, being like, I haven't slept in 10 years. And I had some Blue Lotus tea and I've had the most restful sleep. Or like, I'm struggling with anxiety and depression, and this is really helping me. And it's just been such a beautiful journey to actually really understand that we've got these beautiful, amazing plant medicines that can help us. And it's just all about really understanding them and using and bringing them in the right time as well when we actually need them.
Yeah, so beautiful. I often, like I think that as societies we have disconnected so much from the natural medicines and how so many like I'm seeing it now through the last, like 10 years, especially some different plants from different places in the world that have been in a sense resurrected that, it's like they are being brought into more of the mainstream that are really powerful. I growing up in Argentina, I remember with maca, for example, that it was like again another like powerful plant medicine that it's now it seems that a lot of people know about it. Back then, not that many people know about it. And with the cacao, everybody like drinks chocolate or eats chocolate, but not cacao in its purest form, or some different, like moringa, different plants that are so amazing. And I think that, like I remember the first time, like I have one here. That I saw this actually for the first time when I met you and Matthew like at one of the festivals here, and I had no idea what this was. I was just like, oh, cool, like something to discover, a new thing to discover, and it's so cool that you're able to connect with it and to be able to develop a relationship with it so that then you're able to share it and wonderful that you're able to create into a business and into a way of allowing you to explore this life as, like we live in a society where we need to make a living and we need to make money by sharing this and supporting people's well-being journeys, because this is one of the most important things that I tell a lot of people. A lot of times we get into this journey for different reasons, and sometimes all that we need is perhaps something like this, just finding, like as you're saying, someone that hasn't been sleeping for 10 years suddenly drinks the tea and they get a nice sleep, and suddenly they can start to create more changes in their lives and to look at their entire lifestyle and to be able to explore more and more things. Like, this can be by itself a wonderful beneficial aspect, and it can also be in conjunction with meditation and yoga nidra or any style of yoga, to support people.
Yeah, absolutely true and amazing because yeah, we live in the time where I feel like we really need it the most. Like we have tried everything like as humans. Like we are at the peak of consumerism. We got the jobs we want, most of us, like we don't like them anymore. So we are actually coming back to what is important. And if we look into these plants, I feel like they've been here way longer than us and they carry these beautiful um, knowledge. And if we're able to tap that, and there, it's not just Blue Lotus, but there's so many other plants. But with Blue Lotus, I find it so incredible that it really carries all these properties in a very subtle way to allow you to actually explore your mind and understand your thoughts and your behaviors. But then the moment I share it, then you benefit from it. And then you're able to create from a higher vibrational field. And how many people do you affect every day in your life? Like with your meditations, with your podcast, it's incredible the ripple effect that is happening right now with Blue Lotus, with other plant medicines, with the maca and cacao, and mushrooms are quite big as well. So it's pretty incredible, like what and this is a big drive for us actually. We didn't really plan to, have this. There wasn't to have this into a business when we started because you just don't think, you don't know. But the moment when people started showing this interest and need, and I was like, well, this is really beautiful. It we're able to create change and actually meaningful, something meaningful. And for many years, I've been like, I've done so many different things and started businesses and stopped them and worked for other companies and traveled, and just there was something always missing. I always wanted to do something meaningful, something that actually helps people. Because in the end of the day, like it's this just you do things and then there is no point if you just carry on, go to your job 9 to 5, and then you're miserable, you're not connected to yourself. And not that not everybody needs to do this work either, like we all have our place. But for some of us that don't really, we're not happy where we are, then there is something out there that is waiting. And that's what I found with Blue Lotus was like, hello, like you have to do this, and something really interesting is that it is the understanding, though, of the plant, understanding that this plant has the capacity and capability to actually help people. And this is the whole, like we've talked about is so much about Blue Lotus, that there is a consciousness that you bring with it, there is you carry what the plant has and you bring it to people in a way by communicating in a way that they can understand it, because there's so many plants that maybe we don't even understand yet because maybe the medium is not there yet. And I find this really amazing, and really I feel really grateful to be working and to be able to bring this through.
So beautiful. Like, I feel like, with things like this that you're sharing, that when you're not planning, it is like as if it chose you to be like the vehicle through which as well like it spreads and, to be able to bring it back into life, at least in this space, in this area, for the people that are resonating and coming to you. So before we carry on a little bit, can you share a little bit more about like the Blue Lotus? What is the Blue Lotus? And what are some of the benefits? You mentioned a few, but going back to it.
So it's this beautiful, now it's in a cup. It's really pretty when you drink it, but it is a water lily. So it actually, uh, so there is a little difference between lotuses and the water lilies. And the lotuses, a lot of the time, they sit on the top of the water. There are some, the pink lotus sits quite above as well. But the water lilies, they have the pointy petals, not the big like I've got a candle here. It's pretty funny, but this is a lotus. um, so it used to be very, very sacred in ancient Egypt. It was revered for the ability to open the mind, open the third eye. It was connected to the third eye and the crown chakra, and it has been used in medicine, in as an offering, and also as decoration. Like if we look back into all these beautiful hieroglyphs, there's all the goddesses have a lotus flower on their third eye, or they are smelling it, and it is believed to that those hieroglyphs, it wasn't just the scent that they were trying to experience. It's believed that it was so intoxicating that when they smelled it, they would actually have this upliftment and euphoria and a sense of bliss. And if we look back into that culture, it was mixed with different plants and in grapes and in wine, and made into these really strong potions and used as well as their favorite party elixir. So it was used, yeah, as a medicine, but also as a, yeah, um, fun party elixir. So yeah, a lot of orgies in ancient Egypt included Blue Lotus because it's a powerful aphrodisiac. And if we go into the properties, it has a very interesting chemical structure. It contains two powerful alkaloids, apomorphine and luciferine. Apomorphine is actually, it is used, it's it's used to treat Parkinson's disease, treat depression. It relaxes the muscles and it promotes blood flow. So it's a very powerful one. And luciferine as well. It is used to treat depression and anxiety. So super powerful and potent, but they both interact with dopamine and serotonin. And what is happening is that it's got these two different angles, Blue Lotus. It can be both uplifting and calming. But what happens during when we relax and there is no more mind clutter and this chatter that hangs out here in the back of our head, then we actually are able to, our energy lifts up and we're able to enjoy life and experience, be light, And I feel like this is how they come together. But at the same time, it can be really calming and great for sleep. But I have it now and I'm fully energized. So it's really intentional. And it is also like it just works through different times of the day as well. So, and the way being mixed with other things can actually affect those polarities as well. Like we have a tincture, the Euphoria tincture, and it's really
Yes, here.
it's more potent. It's a strong extraction, and the purpose was to make something as a mood enhancement day to day, something you can keep in your bag and you can use whenever you need a bit of support. And yeah, it can be really powerful. But also, if you take a few drops in the evening, it works for sleep too. But also, you don't need to take it in the evening to regulate sleep. So what happens with sleep is that we have these crazy days, and then our brain has not processed most of the information. So we can't fall asleep. Well, if your day is, flowing and relaxed, and if you have produced enough serotonin, which Blue Lotus helps with, then you need serotonin to produce melatonin pretty much. So the sleep hormone, there is more serotonin to produce the sleep hormone. So you will easily go to sleep. So that's one of the very most powerful Blue Lotus properties, but also like anxiety and depression. It really helps with quieting quieting the mind and really, yeah, being into a more flow and more uplifted mood.
Mm.
It's
Mm.
gentle.
Yes, so beautiful. I often tell people a lot of times with things like this, like I find a lot of times that, if you have a Blue Lotus tea, that some people might be much more open to something like this than to going to yoga or going to meditation if they are not yet open to it. And then, as you mentioned, a few of the people that reach out to you, like you can actually see the benefit. And as well, I think that, like those that are drawn to something, there's a reason why they are drawn to something that their system recognizes. And then, perhaps for the people that need more of the calming effect, that's what they are going to receive from the plant. And then for those that need pick me up, then they are going to receive that. So I think that a lot of times the wisdom of the plants as well is just allowing you to receive what you need as an individual, and not just because it can have both the like of euphoric and the calming effect that you're going to be like a yo-yo. It's going to be what you need.
Absolutely. And this is how plants work. And this is how we work as well. If we allow ourselves to be, if we are centered and in tune, then we're able to actually be more, to regulate the system. But a lot of the time, we are not because we're too busy, all of us really. So it is really important to get a little bit of help from the plants. And definitely there's so much intelligence. Now our body knows. I feel like our body is really connected. Once you drink the plant, the more you work with any plant, the more you start to discover the properties and all the little things the benefits and that are specific to you. There's so much magic, really.
Hmm. And whereabouts does the Blue Lotus grow, like in the world?
Blue Lotus grows in the tropics. It needs warm weather. So that's why it used to grow in the Nile River when there was plenty, and in Egypt when there was plenty of water. Actually, if we look back into the history and on these ancient history, the Blue Lotus grew in ancient Egypt, and it was then transported and traded into Greece as well and into all that region. But initially it's there. But if we look then, India like grows a lot of lotuses in general. So it's blue lotus. There are white lotuses as well, like white water lilies as well. And Sri Lanka, Thailand, Vietnam. So all China is another place. If we look anywhere with warm weather, like that has tropical weather, so there's quite a lot of blue lotus being grown. Yeah, Sri Lanka, Thailand, Vietnam nowadays.
Hmm. Um,
India.
Nice. And for the ones that I'm drinking, like the ones that you're bringing with Kiss the Earth, where do you source them? How do you source them? Like I know, like a lot of times with so many different practices of agriculture and growing things, like can you tell a little bit more about what's,
Yeah.
for Kiss the Earth, the importance on that?
Yeah, absolutely. So we work with a small farm, actually, one of the main farms. We work with a few, but one of the main ones is in Thailand and Vietnam. And it's amazing, really. Uh, the people we work with, they've been connected to the Blue Lotus for years, and they've been growing Blue Lotus for years when it was not I mean, it's still a niche, but when that was not even a thing, because Blue Lotus has been used traditionally in the small tribes and people that have kept that going for thousands of years, but now it has become quite popular as a herbal medicine. So, and this has happened in the last 30 years only. And Yeah, we work with small families who grow the Blue Lotus and harvest it and dry it and pack it and ready. We have a really, really close connection. It is organically grown. It's a part of Small Farmers Association. Yeah, it's been such a magical journey because it's just been the easiest relationship and connection. And um, yeah, it's just, we're super happy and we are planning to actually go and visit and create a lit. Just a bigger bond with the growers. Yeah.
Beautiful. I often think that this is something, and I used to do this more first with food, to be able to actually take the time before I eat a meal to understand, like there's hands that planted this, that grew this, that actually harvested it, that, like there's the life force of that, and when something, like is as well a plant medicine or something that I'm bringing into my body, the for me at least, the importance of it being organic because, we are putting so much stuff as well into the soil and then we put that into our bodies and that obviously has an impact. And I think that when we're able to recognize the importance of that is beautiful and to understand, like these are people growing this. It's not, like random machines, like doing it, which all good, like nothing against
Yeah, yeah,
machines, but
yeah.
like just being able to honor that, the people that actually grow this.
No, absolutely. It's really magical. We have been, we've been super connected with the team. They're a very small team, and yeah, they're grown in some very beautiful parts of Thailand. The current one, and it's we get sent so many photos all the time, and the fields are so beautiful. And actually these are all natural ponds, so they're not artificial. They're just like water bodies that are sitting there for thousands of years or for years. So it's amazing, the nature and the water and the beauty. So yeah, for me, I've gone through that journey as well with food and with plants. And I guess the more conscious and the more connected I've been to the plant medicines, they have guided me into this journey of actually connecting with the farmers and the hands. And there is a practice also that I do sometimes of thinking of everybody who is involved, because there's so many. Actually, I was just thinking today, like even when our packages make it here, there's somebody in the airport that has to deal with that. And even though sometimes we don't think about these people, but they are still involved in the process. And before that, the flight, and before that, yeah, the people who are actually handling it, like, and packing it. So it's been really, yeah, it's a really beautiful process to be able to connect to
Mm.
and see that it's that we need to be more connected to these paths. And we actually tried to grow a few lotuses last year, water lilies, like blue lotus last year. And it's hard work, especially here because the weather just didn't allow them to come out for months. It was quite cold. So, yeah, quite a
Mm,
lot of appreciation for the team there.
mm,
Family.
beautiful. Yeah,
It's
so
really cute because they send these photos of like really casually sitting there. There's like tables of Blue Lotus, and they are just cleaning them or cutting the back and just making them ready to dry. So it's such a natural environment to work. It's crazy the way we have become with devices and computers, and like there's like half of my house is like tech, high tables and like sitting desks, and I'm like, whoa.
mm,
Some I need to do a few walks every day to get out there, and I see these people. They're super. The people we work with, the farmers, super connected and happy to that they. It's amazing to see that this is still going on.
mm, yeah, yeah,
Feel
it's
like,
part of their life.
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Mm. And I'd love to know, like based Nila in your experience, you know, how would you recommend if someone has never, used or has never even heard of Blue Lotus? What would you recommend? Would you recommend them to try some tea? Would you recommend to get some tincture? What's your recommendation?
Yeah, well, I think starting with tea is always a great idea. It's really nice to drink tea, and it's such a ancient tradition that we also have lost. Like it's become, I feel like it's just not practiced enough, but drinking a tea, it's very calming on its own. And I think starting with the tea is great. We've got a range of products now because we wanted to create like to bring this ancient plant in all its uses and see like some people don't like drinking tea. So then we still live in the modern world where everything is fast. So some people want the tincture. So the tincture is more you've got it all the time with you if you're going to work, if you need a little bit of, you have a moment of overwhelm or your mood is not great. It really brings a sense of upliftment and letting go instantly. And but yeah, the tea is amazing for in the evening. For me, I still just sit and drink heaps of Blue Lotus tea every evening. So it's a beautiful ritual, and it's a great way to kind of ease yourself and to see like how do you feel? Is there Blue Lotus? It's amazing for lucid dreaming. So a lot of people love that part, but if you don't want your dreams to be more vivid, then I guess you have to, like have it maybe more during the day and have less. So we've got a range of oils which are amazing. It's been so interesting to listen to people um, and their experiences because sometimes we do the markets, and one lady came one day and said, my skin's been great, I love it, but there's something else, like I have changed. And this is the power because it has the blue lotus in it. She's applying it, and there's this whole ritual around it, and it's a sense of like really connecting to your inner beauty and connecting to yourself. And that it's the moment. It still can be 1 minute. You're not taking half an hour to create this ritual. It's just something that you did maybe unconsciously, or it's just like, oh, I'm just going to put some cream on my face. But now you have this really beautiful product that you apply, and it's more than just something to put on your skin because this is the problem. Everything has been become something that we need to do, and this is the idea of with our products is to become rituals, to actually sit and enjoy a tea and be present with it and use the face oil. It's yes, it has a function, but it also has the whole is about the experience to make you feel good. And when you feel good, you look good. And it's not like beauty is not how you look, it's more how you feel. And we all know that. Like there are days that doesn't matter how you look, you're just gonna be like, actually, you don't even think about it. And then there are days that we all can be insecure in one way or another, you know?
Mm.
So it's really how to bring that feeling into people every day. We actually have a new supplement recently. Actually, it's pretty funny. We sold out yesterday, and we've just restocking, and it's just been such a big, yeah. It has had quite a big buzz. People love it, and it's a combination of Blue Lotus and lion's mane. And it was used in ancient Egypt, and in the hieroglyphs, you can see how Blue Lotus was used with different plant medicines and especially with mushrooms. Now, I believe there were different kind of mushrooms. I would say definitely was used with psilocybin and poppy seeds and there because Blue Lotus can be mild and gentle, but when mixed with other things, it's just it has this ability to really elevate your third eye and open the crown chakra. So it brings everything up with it. And if we look, let's say we take mushrooms, they're like they grow in the ground, and the mycelium is under the ground, and it's amazing for your for cognition and lion's mane is one of the most researched mushrooms for uh, nerve growth and the extension of the nerves and for focus, clarity, all of these productivity, energy, and then mixed with Blue Lotus, what Blue Lotus does, it just amplifies it and it puts the crown, that third eye and crown chakra in it, and lifts it up from a ground level to a higher level. Because if we again look at the Blue Lotus, it does grow from the ground, but actually it sits above the water, is very etheric. So it is, and that's the quality that it has. It brings everything up with it. So it's really magical to see the synergy of this product and how people have been like, whoa, like, and we're just blown away by the feedback of like, I literally got a message 2 days ago saying, you guys have saved my life. Like I was really like dark in some dark depression and just could not find my way out. And Limitless has really saved my life. And I was like, wow, that's so amazing.
Mm.
Um, like, and we have these messages every day, and it's these plants, they can do really magical things for our state of
Mm.
being.
That's, like I love mushrooms. Like I've been taking, like supplements, and lion's mane has been like one of the main ones for years. And I do think that a lot of times when the plants work together, they amplify each other, as you're just sharing, and how lovely to be able to receive, messages like that, to keep going. Because as well, like this, yes, like it might be amazing to work with the plant and everything. At the same time, it's a business, and you need to deal with all of that and to receive those messages. Like how nice as a, keep it going.
Absolutely. Like it's been amazing to start the business and actually have really good vision and like start creating. But definitely it's like you have to do everything, and it's just sometimes it's so overwhelming, and sometimes actually it's very beautiful when I wake up and I just see there's always a review. Somebody's left a review on the website, or maybe a message, because a lot of people send us private messages and emails as well. And I'm like, yeah, like it's really encouraging because I mean there is like I love and I'm super connected to the plant, but in the day to day, you have to get out there and actually do the things. And the things are endless. Oh my gosh, like from if I could, mention all my roles in a day, from marketing to packing orders to, to like literally labeling and like yeah, it's just doing social media, writing emails. I'm like, whoa, like it's just never ending the amount of apps that my head has right now. But I feel really blessed, and same with Matthew, that we have everything happens for a reason. All the like not so nice kind of crappy jobs that I've done in my life have served me today. So it's really important to look back and be like, actually, it wasn't that bad, because I've learned all these things and it's been amazing to be able to apply them. But it's definitely the higher perspective why you do a business like this and why you keep going, because it can be challenging. It's sometimes it's just easier to go and work with somebody else, that you finish work at 5. Here it never ends for the moment.
Yeah, but luckily, you have Blue Lotus, so that any time that you need to self-regulate, it's like, okay, some Blue Lotus.
Absolutely. Heaps of Blue Lotus, a bit of red light in the evening, and then when you work, you also sleep. So no, it's been such a beautiful journey. And yeah, it's really, really grateful to be doing this and um to be actually contributing to the change. There is a big change happening, and a lot of people can't name it and what it is. And I feel like you probably feel it as well, because you're in this realm of like meditation and like mindfulness. And if you're a little bit more just attuned or you're paying attention, there's nothing wrong if you're not. But you can see that we're living in a very interesting time, and things are moving really fast, and things are changing. And for us, it's really important. We want to be, I don't think about today. I want to be, because the earth is this business of the future, actually. It's not, it's bringing a new consciousness to the world. And whatever the scale is, like it doesn't matter. That is just, like this is the way I want to think and create my life. And that's been quite inspiring, because I feel the change is coming, and I feel like I listen to and I hear that people are tired of the same, like going in circles, and we all are. Like I've gone through that journey for many years, and I still am, because there's the layers are deep and we have to just keep peeling. But it's good to see that this is the way to go, and that is inspiring. But the work is real.
Yes, I often share them, and I talk about this a lot with my mom about the changes that are happening, the moment in time that we are going through, like the amount of changes on scales that sometimes we cannot even see and we cannot even understand with the the mindset that we have now and the perspectives that we have now. There is something taking place, and some of us are actually embracing that and doing more actively something about it, and supporting the creation of that. Because I often think that, there's the cycles of changes that are taking place, and how we are co-creating that. And that if we, as you're saying, can create ways that are showing something different, whether that is just to ourselves or energetically, or even how we are showing up in the world, if we are able to actually create that new way, then we're accelerating the change that can happen in a bigger scale.
Absolutely. We are creating it and I feel it. Sometimes I wake up and I just don't feel I'm like, there's something wrong. Like I'm not in my best, like my energy is scattered and I have to put a bit more effort in the morning to actually get a bit more alignment and feel a little bit more structure. Maybe like recently I've actually felt like my meditation practices and they've been a little bit like, ooh, scattered. I'm like, what is going on? And I've been moving house and all of that. And but also like winter, I'm also really going, also going a little bit deep into like things that deeper things that maybe it would be nicer if I didn't go there, but if I don't go there, there's no moving forward. And I feel like, wow, like it is intense. It can be intense, but how can I bring this and create from a more aligned space? And because in the end of the day, it's actually a good day or a bad day. It's really what we make out of it
Mm,
ourselves. And it's hard to kind of sometimes it really can be hard to the moment you're going through it, it's hard to snap out of it. But if you do, you see the difference. And that's been quite an interesting practice recently to be like, maybe I need to swap, change the mood, put an effort.
mm. Yeah, and like I think that sometimes this is what I keep on telling a lot of time to some of my students is it's not that, like everything's going to be perfect. It's that when we understand ourselves more, when we have more tools that we can use, whenever things seem to be a little bit off or out of alignment, or that we notice an imbalance of any kind, we have the tools to then be able to say like, okay, do I go and make some Blue Lotus tea? Do I go and get some like some green smoothie? Do I go and sit in meditation? Do I need to do some movement practice? Do I need to go and just hug a tree? Whatever it is that we learn and we know and we can apply, then it's like we are actually are able to do something about it. Whereas a lot of people, if they don't have the tools, if they don't have any practices and or disciplines, it's much harder to get back into alignment, because that's in a sense what we are wanting most of the time in our lives. It's just to feel how that feels, because when we're in alignment, then suddenly everything else is flowing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so true. It's amazing. I'm really grateful that I have kind of sometimes put my head down and actually had to look at the darkness and look at all the things that come up and try to develop some tools because I didn't have many 10 years ago. I didn't have any. And I feel like it does get easier. And I feel like maybe you get to feel more and you might still feel more of the darkness or in a higher intensity because you've opened yourself. But your spirit and soul will be stronger. So you actually will have the capability to observe and see the pain and but actually react and not be a slave of it, or I don't know what's the word, not
Yeah, a victim
yes,
to it.
a victim. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, not be sucked in it. So you are there for really long periods of times.
Mm. Yes, yes, yes. I think that for me, a lot of times, like the the capacity in the last 20 plus years that I've been practicing, like the capacity that I've had to allow more, to hold more of my experience. Because yes, there's moments that, like there's a lot of feelings that arise that if I'm opening, then there's more and more and more. I know that I have the tools and I can be with it. So the more that we practice whatever it is that we practice, then we have more capacity to be with it and to choose. Because I think that a lot of times that's the thing that with we are not the victims. We can actually take responsibility. We can choose how we want to be because we can get to a place to understand we are the creators. We are co-creating everything, and we are part of, like we are choosing to stay where we are, or we can create a lot of change. And yeah, sometimes requires a little bit more effort, sometimes requires a little bit more discipline, sometimes requires asking for help, like and talking with other people, whatever it is, like if we actually decide that we can do something about it, we can. So yeah, I love that. Nila, I would love to keep on talking with you for ages. I'm aware of our time. Um, where can people find you? Social media, website, like where can people go if they are interested in getting more Blue Lotus or getting it for the first time?
Awesome. Yes, we are Kiss the Earth. And if you Google Kiss the Earth, we're going to show up, kisstheearth.nz, at the same Instagram, Kiss the Earth NZ, and Facebook as well. So if you have any questions or would like to learn more, there's plenty of information in the website, but you can always email us, give us a call, always open to chat. Yeah. And it's a very powerful plant, and it brings quite a lot of experience.
Beautiful, beautiful. So if you're resonating with this, go and check it out. I'll put the links on the show notes so that you can access it there. If you have taken already Blue Lotus or tea or in any of its ways, would love to know, like message and whatever it is that you're finding in this episode. Just comment there with your experience, as I often think that, as Nila has been sharing during this episode, different people's experiences. Sometimes when we hear those experiences, they can actually allow us to do something. So if you've had a benefit from taking the Blue Lotus, then share it, because then that's going to actually allow someone else to get on board with it. So thank you so much, Nila, for taking the time. Thank you for
Thank you.
sharing. Yeah.
Thank you. It was a pleasure. And yeah, it's always beautiful to connect with you, and hopefully I'll get to see you soon.
Yes. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you once again for sharing as well your like gift of bringing this into the world and sharing a little bit more with all of us here on the podcast. So thank you, Nila. Thank you everyone for
Thank
listening
you.
and watching, and we'll see you all next time.
Yeah,
Bye.
thanks so much.
What did you like the most about this episode? Take a moment to think about what change you can make in your life today.
Share your conscious action on social media using hashtag conscious action and tagging at conscious action NZ, so we can celebrate your impact on the world and create a ripple effect.
One easy action we would love for you to take right now is to share, like, and subscribe to this podcast. This will help us get these messages out into the world and inspire more people to take conscious action in their own lives, contributing to the better world we hope for.